has life been like since we last talked?
It's been good, Maeve. It's been good because I like to read, and they always have been my happy pastime. And I have all these books to read. I get them as gifts, and I get them from a friend who works at the library. And my eyes aren't what they. I'm 90 years old, so my eyes aren't like they were even the last time we met. But it was magnifying glass, and I'm very content. It feels old. I never thought about how long would I live. I think I've always been optimistic, but 90 years old, Maeve, and there's such changes since I was young. It's very, very different. Some for the good, some for not so good. You know, it's life. It changes constantly, and people change constantly.
First question. A lot has happened to you in the world since we last spoke. Can you talk about it?
Okay, since the last session that I had with you, Maeve, I left the foothills and moved back to Citrus Heights and started my life over again. I had to, when I did that, I needed a project going through this divorce, and I needed a project to keep me busy. So I had an idea about writing a book about all these artists that had given me information freely over the years. And I wanted to pay it back. So I told myself I would give myself 2 years to write this book and get it published. So it really worked. It kept me busy, and I sent a letter to like 20 artists to see if they were interested in participating in my project. And I explained to them that I would come and interview them in their studios, record their stories, and document their journeys in black and white. And there would be one color photo for each one, and to showcase some of their artwork. So I did get 12 responses back, and some of them just were too busy or they didn't want to do it, so that's fine. And then I included myself as the artist or writer. And so that took pretty much a year just to do the interviews. So I went to their homes and sat down with them and recorded it, and then came home and transcribed it, wrote it up, and then I sent them a draft version of their story just so that they could review it and make sure I had the facts right. And then that was their one time that they got to see their story and correct it. And so then they didn't see it until the book was published. And the agreement was that they would get a copy of the book. I would give them all the photos that I took of them during the interviews and put them on CD. And and that was it. So everybody was really happy about it, and I had to set out and do some scheduled book signings on my own. One thing I will say about writing the book was the fun part. It was meeting up with the publisher, finding a good publisher, because I was doing self-published, which means you pay for it. You pay for whatever you're gonna buy, how many copies of books and what have you. Although they supposedly distributed it to, gosh, tens of book companies. Amazon was the biggest, but you only didn't matter what the cost of the book was, the author only got $5 a book. So Amazon got all that money. So anyway, yeah, so I had about 6 or 7 book signings, and it's been fun. And I have the books in the Crocker Art Museum, downtown Sacramento, in the Persimmon Gallery. I had it in the Art League of Lincoln. It's not in there anymore because I'm not working there. But yeah, so that's what saved my life at that time of my life. Okay, so this is the final book, and I'm really proud of it. My photograph is on the front page, and actually my sons kind of helped me with selecting the title, Artful Journeys. When you speak with an artist, discoveries are made. And so it's really a nice book. I paid extra to have the dust jacket put on. And so this is the first, can you see that?
Yeah.
This is the first page. What I did, I went back after I wrote the stories and I took their pictures. I thought, oh, I need to take a really nice portrait of each artist. So I did. I went back and took black and white photos of each artist. So that was that. And let's see. After the book, and then setting up the book signings, and then I had the books for sale in the different galleries and places. So then I was working for Art League of Lincoln as a curator, hanging the shows there for about 5 years. And then I was also in the Persimmon Art Gallery in Auburn. And it was getting a little hard. I became a manager at the Persimmon Gallery, and it was hard for me to go out to Lincoln and do that, and then go up to Auburn and do work at that gallery. So I had to quit the Art League. But it was a good choice because I'm really busy now. But yeah, so that's what's been happening since then. Well, yeah, I'm single. I'm living back in Citrus Heights. I'm happy again. And get to see my granddaughter. I'm sure you're going to cut that out. Am I missing anything? I guess that's about it.
I had it twice, and the first time I was sick it was like a bad flu. I felt punk, and I pretty much stayed a lot in bed. And it took me a while to be 100% after that, but compared to the poor soul that died from it, it was not there. And then the second time I had it, it was very simple. Whether you build up some antibodies so that if you have it again, it's not quite as bad. I don't know. Honestly, don't know. That sun is always shuffling this time of the year.
What about the pandemic itself?
Well, I was, again, because I love to read, I always had my books. In fact, this is a little pack of books here from my friend. But I didn't want to see anybody because I had my COVID shot and a vaccine. But I was really staying out of everybody's way because I did not want to get sick. I knew a number of people much younger than I who died from COVID, and they were supposedly healthy people. That was scary. I think it changed our country a lot. I do. I think it seems to me that our country now, people are very angry. They're just nervous and apprehensive. I don't know if it's a result of the pandemic or this political situation that we're in now. I don't know, but it's uneasy. It's not a good climate.
Well, I didn't like being sequestered at all. I didn't believe in the shots, the vaccinations. I am unvaccinated because I do have a lot of health issues and allergic reactions to inoculations and medications. So I did get COVID, I think 3 times in the last 4 years. But it wasn't very bad. It was just like a 3-day flu for me. So I'm glad that's over.
Life is life. I think it's very important to be kind, to be happy, be kind to people, be forgiving, and be safe and happy. And I think a spiritual background helps. Whatever your religion is, if religion is not a certified religion, but something close to natural things, like a beautiful tree or flower or gorgeous mountains or animals. I think that's such beauty in life that you should contemplate it more. I can sit and look at a tree, my favorite plant, for a long time, and it gives me peace. So I hope that the world is peaceful and kind and happy and forgiving and have empathy for others and compassion. I just enjoy nature. I think that's a big part of my religion. It's so beautiful in this world. I was very fond of birds, and I had bird feeders and could name the birds, and even raised a little blue jay. Zeppo, his name was. And I feel greatly for animals. Like, I love dogs and cats, and I can't bear to hear of anybody being unkind to them, or unkind to people, of course. But if I see a headline that indicates, say, a dog has been maltreated or a person or whatever, I can't read it. It upsets me too much. It's awful, mean things people can do. Most people, I think, are decent people, but there is evil among us, and we have to be careful. Lead us not into temptation, and deliver us from evil. Amen.
Life advice. Yes, I do. Be yourself, and don't let people put you down. And don't hang out with the wrong people. You want people in your life that make you happy. Life is too short. It goes really fast. My kids grew up, my grandkids are grown. yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot, and I know COVID did a number on a lot of the young people today, just scaring them and making them afraid to go out and enjoy life. But yeah, just keep the people that you love close to you. You know, your parents and your grandparents, they're not going to be around forever. So make sure you tell them you love them. And yeah, don't sell yourself short. Believe in what you believe, and that's it.
We all have regrets, Maeve. I regret that I couldn't have, I wasn't as kind as I could be when I should have been. And I didn't help people that could use the help. I regret things like that. Things that happen in my life, you know, the things that happen to everybody. We all have regrets of some kind. But I could have said something kinder to people. I could have helped them, or those regrets I do have. But as far as what I did in my life, I think I was lucky. And sometimes having the regrets about not helping or doing more than I should have done, been kinder. Sometimes it's because you have faulty information. It happens to all of us. Well, everybody has regrets about something. You can't go through life without some regrets. I'd like to know more about my background as far as who came over from Ireland. I'm 100% Irish. And my Irish names are Crowley, McGuire, Duffy, and Deneen. And the Deneen great-grandfather, my great-grandfather, was born in New York City. I don't know his wife's name, but I know that he was a blacksmith, and he was quite comfortable as far as money. And they moved to Connecticut because I think one of his daughters had an illness, and they thought the air was better for her. And the other great-grandfather came from Boston, and he worked for the railroad. He was in the, not on the trains, but he was in the production process. He was in, business building. He wasn't on the trains. And I don't know too much about him because I think both he and his wife had passed on when I was born, I think. I had 2 pictures of them by Blackrock, and they were lovely, and they looked like they were in the 60s or early 70s. And when I moved from my big house to this little apartment, they were lost in the shuffle, which I felt very bad about, because that was the only thing I had about them. And I was very close to my grandmother, who was Janine, who married a McGuire. So I'm very Irish, and very proud of it too.
Any regrets? Oh boy. Well, I'm sure we all have some regrets. I regret that I didn't have more children. But when I had 2 boys, and I was worried I was going to be like my Aunt Ramona, who had 10 boys and 1 girl. So each time if I was going to have another baby, it would probably be another boy. Not that the boys are bad, I just wanted a little bit of both. But yeah, I do regret that I didn't have more children.
One of my earliest memories, and not even sure if this is something I dreamed or if it was actually a memory, is standing on the side of the road with my family, and the hearse was there to take my grandfather away because he had died. But I don't remember him at all, because I must have been very young, and I'm not sure that's a true memory. But I was very, very close to my grandmother. Her name was Margaret. Her maiden name was Margaret Janine. And my great-grandfather was born in New York City, and he was a blacksmith, and he had 5 children, and my grandmother was the oldest of 5. And sometime after they were in New York City, where she was born and raised, they moved to Connecticut, I think because someone in the family was not well, and they thought the air in Connecticut would be better for them. Not knowing what exactly the cause was, I thought it could be some kind of a lung disease like TB, which was rampant in those days. I don't know, but they moved to New Haven and Westville. And Westville is like Southport is to Fairfield. You know, it's part of Fairfield, it's different. And I don't know where all the Janines went. I don't know if the children went back to New York, because I'm 90, so you can imagine how old my great-grandfather was. But that's what I remember. I was very, very close to my grandmother, very close. I called her Gussie. How I got that nickname for the poor woman, I have no idea. But she was one of the closest people to me in my early life. She was a sweetheart.
Yeah, so the young people today, they're lucky to get to meet their grandparents because, you know, I don't know what it is, if it's the knowledge of how to eat healthy and live healthy, do exercise and all that. But when I was growing up, my mother's parents, we only got to see them at Christmas. My grandmother. I only saw my grandfather, my mom's side, maybe 2 or 3 times in my whole life, because he wasn't always with the grandmother. But she was really, really sweet, and and she didn't speak English, she spoke Spanish, so the only things I remember was when we would stay with her, my sisters and I don't know where my parents were, but we would go to grandma's, and she would say, "Que linda," to me, and I didn't know what that was, and I said, "Grandma, I'm not Linda, I'm Mary." But what that meant is, "You're so beautiful, que linda." But she would make homemade tortillas for us with lots of butter, and she would give us some really weak coffee with a lot of milk in it and sugar. But and when you hugged her, she was very soft, and she smelled like powder. So that's what I remember about her. And then my dad's parents, the grandfather had already passed away at an early age of about 40, I believe. But the grandma, we called her Little Grandma because she was so tiny and thin, but she would come to stay with us, and she wore these gray dresses, long down to the ankles with a belt, She had very long hair, and I can still see her in the morning. I'd come out in the living room where she slept on the couch, and she was combing her. She was brushing her long hair like this, and then she would braid it down, and then she would wrap it around her head and put the pins in. But I could see the sun coming in and shining on her, and it was just really a beautiful picture. But again, she didn't speak English. She spoke Spanish, so I never really had a conversation with her. I didn't get to hang out, like I've gone on trips with you guys and been in the same car and same house, but I never went to her house. She came to ours, and yeah. And then I think I'm trying to remember when she passed away, but I know my mother's mother died in like 1960, and I was only like 10 years old. Maybe I was 11, 12. I don't remember when little grandma passed away. Oh, wait a minute, I do. It was in high school. We're living in North Sac, and she died probably in 63 or 64, something like that. So it was a little different for me. I didn't really have a really close relationship with my grandparents like you guys do, like my grandkids do. And Victoria and I, we had a lot of time together because she lived in California, and yeah, so that was good. A lot of good stuff.
I hope for the future that my country stands strong. I hope that my children and grandchildren are happy, wholly, healthy, safe, and protected. I hope they are good, moral people. But that's what I hope for. I hope my children and grandchildren have wonderful, wonderful lives and are happy, moral, wonderful people, because that's what I think they are right now. So I hope it stays. And I hope my country comes together, and I hope the sun turns a little bit and finds me. But that's what I hope for me. What do you hope for, Luz? She hopes for a place on the sofa.
Well, unfortunately, I am diabetic. I have fibromyalgia, arthritis, allergies. So I'm really hoping to get better with the allergy and food thing, and to get my A1C numbers down so that I can live longer. My mother lived until she was 1 month shy of her 88th birthday, and if I make it to 88, I'd be happy. As far as the art, I'm gonna do it as long as I can, but I'm 77 and a half. I'll be 78 this year, so yeah. I'll do it as long as I can drive to go to these places and create art. And other than that, that's what I have going for my life. Love to keep seeing my family and my grandkids and see them progress and do great things.